this, and I always know I had that symptoms, but I don't want to self-diagnose. And when I saw that symptoms earlier pun, I know that I have that symptoms, but my question is, I have difficulties opening up with my families, because when I try to communicate with them and opening up about my mental health problems, my families always invalidate my feelings, and they always neglect what I want to say, what I really, macam they like putar belit my apa yang I mau cakap with them ba. And they always blame me for causing that problems, and they say that I'm not religious enough, and I don't get close enough to God, I don't pray enough, and they always assume that as my real problems when it actually does not. So, Puan Anita, how do you first diagnose with those with the mental illness? How do you express yourself towards your family? How do you, what are ways to let our parents, especially like older gens, especially in Asian families, to accept mental health seriously? Because I do have that problem. That's why I never like open up to them about myself.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the question. That's such an important question, a very valid question. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing is, as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to a mental health struggle, we typically associate it with not being religious enough, not saying that the component of religion and spirituality isn't important. It is important. It's helpful. It's a good protective factor. But there is a time and a place for everything. And so a mental health condition is a medical condition. It must be treated. So that's the first thing. Number two, when we're talking about, family members invalidating what you're going through or being dismissive, that's actually quite common because of the lack of knowledge. Maybe they don't know anything about it. They've never read anything about it. They don't know anyone who struggles with it. And so that is why usually when you open up, and especially being, their own children, because of your perception that mental health equates to not being religious enough, or it could be being weak-willed, or being you are not strong. So that is why parents usually say all these things, right? So sometimes not done deliberately, but not trying to minimize your pain or anything, but trying to find a solution to it. Yeah. Okay. So what happens if your family members are not supportive? You need to find another family member or extended family member, an adult that your parents look up to, because as humans, all of us have someone that we respect, someone that we look up to, and someone that no matter what, we would listen, we would take their advice, right? So this is the person or the people that you must talk to. And then hopefully these people or this person can be the link to your parents. And usually when we advise this to teenagers specifically, it works the majority of time. So let's try and do this. And at the same time, you can also feed them information about mental health. This will, help them. If they care enough about you, they will read it. And also try to, one of the things that have happened a lot before is, we have programs on radio, on TV, etc. Right? So one of our popular shows, many years ago, we ran it for 2.5 years, was Kembara Shifa on Uitm FM. So what happened was these students would, go be in the car, and then when this show comes up or the program comes out, they'll tune it on or increase the volume so that their parents would hear. So this was one of the ways. And we are having a show, I think, in August that we're starting via Super TV, which is a new channel by AC Mizal, where we will be talking about mental health on a weekly basis. So when there is a consistency in TV programs, radio shows, this could be a way that you can open up that conversation by sharing or just, switching on these programs when they come on air, right? So that your family members can listen to it. So these are hopefully some ways that can help. And then how do you yourself open up? you need to find a tribe. You need to find a friend, other people that can support you so that you are able to express these things more easily and you don't feel ashamed or embarrassed to do so. And so what I always say that you need at least one person to help you in this journey in life. So hopefully that helps.
All right, thank you, Juanita, for the answer.
Thank you very much.